Okay, I'm going to talk about Georgia again. This time I'm going to talk about the annual showdown that they have in Jacksonville every year between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. You know, I saw how Florida hung in there with Alabama and almost beat them. They made Alabama look very vulnerable. Now, here's the problem, though, with Florida. Emory Jones looked good, but the problem is Florida's whole offense looked good. And it's pretty obvious that Bama's defense is very suspect. Now, you look at turn on the tape, you look at Georgia's defense, very dominant. They don't give up anything on the ground. The most they've given up has been penalty yards, let's be honest. I'm not saying Florida can't move the ball in Georgia. They probably will when they play. The problem is, can they do that the whole game like they did with Alabama? Can they get into a rhythm like they did with Bama? That's the problem. And Florida's defense is very dominant. I'm very surprised the way that defense dominated Bama's offense in the second half, holding in the field goals and just one touchdown the whole second half. That's really impressive. And their ability to control and dominate the line of scrimmage like they did against Alabama. But the problem is, I look at Georgia. They have more experienced players coming back than Alabama did. And if you look back at the last 4 games, Georgia has won 3 of the last 4. And as much as I want to pick Florida, Florida has a slight home advantage. They have a big home advantage. They're in the state of Florida. I'd say make it 4 out of 5. I think Georgia wins this football game. Georgia's going to have their whole defense most likely, and they're going to have most of that offense back, their receivers that they didn't have against Clemson and anybody else. So I think Georgia will win this game a lot like they did in 2019. Florida's going to move the ball early in the game. They'll get stopped. Georgia will be really good on third down. They're going to be really good passing the football. They'll be able to run the football a little bit just to throw Florida's defense off. That way they're not one-dimensional. I think Florida's going to keep it close and competitive. This won't be as high scoring like you see with the Red River rivalry games, but it should be a really good football game. I got Georgia beating Florida 28-24. I just don't see Emory Jones making enough plays through the air against Georgia's defense. And again, Georgia's defense is very dominant. You know, if Florida wins this game, I'll be wrong about how Georgia's defense is so dominant. You know, but that's just my opinion. It's very hard to explain, to show me otherwise. I haven't seen it yet. So I think Florida will score some points. They're going to keep, again, it's a rivalry game. It's very possible Florida wins this game. They could win this game. But I got my money on Georgia winning this football game. They're not going to win it by 2 or 3 touchdowns. To the most, probably 10 points at most. That's if Florida plays bad or if Georgia's too much. They're both pretty evenly matched. I just think Georgia's a little bit better. And the difference isn't very big because Florida could very easily win this football game if Georgia plays like crap like they did last year. JT Daniels also has to stay healthy. And JT Daniels is going to need more receivers for that football game. But if it goes like I think it does, Georgia should win this game if they do their job and do everything right. And Florida, you know, yeah. So we'll see what happens. Georgia 28, Florida 24.